You ever notice how the world seems designed to test your patience? Someone cuts you off in traffic, a coworker takes credit for your work, or a so-called friend betrays your trust. In those moments, your chest tightens, your blood heats, and your mind whispers, maybe being ruthless is the only way to survive. But deep down, you also fear becoming that kind of person, the one who sacrifices their soul just to get ahead. This is the battlefield of power and morality, and it's as old as humanity itself. Before we dive into how Stoicism and Machiavelli collide in this struggle, remember to like and subscribe. This channel is about timeless wisdom made practical. Wisdom you can carry into the chaos of everyday life. Number 1. The two roads, Stoicism and Machiavelli. When you think of Stoicism, you think of inner strength, self-control, and peace of mind. Stoicism says, control what you can, accept what you cannot, and rise above the chaos. It's about being unshakable in a noisy, selfish world. On the other hand, Machiavelli is often remembered for something very different. The ends justify the means. He's painted as the strategist of manipulation, cunning, and cold calculation. Now, here's the problem. Life often feels like it rewards the Machiavellians. The backstabber gets the promotion. The ruthless politician gets the power. The liar wins the crowd. And you, being honest, controlled, and calm, you feel like the fool left behind. That frustration eats at people, and it makes you wonder, is Stoicism too soft for the real world? But the truth is deeper than the cliches. Machiavelli wasn't just about manipulation. He was about survival in brutal times. And Stoicism isn't about being weak. It's about being immovable when others are slaves to fear. Both teach power, but in different ways. The question is, which path makes you strong without making you hollow? Here's the irony. If you follow Machiavelli blindly, people may fear you, but they'll never truly trust you. If you follow Stoicism blindly, people may admire you, but they might also think you're too detached. The key isn't to throw one away, but to understand where they meet. That's where real power lives. Number 2, power without peace is prison. Machiavelli says it's better to be feared than loved. And yes, fear can make people obey you, at least for a while. But what happens when the fear fades? You spend your life watching your back, suspecting everyone, losing sleep because betrayal feels inevitable. That isn't power. That's paranoia with a crown on its head. Stoicism flips this idea on its head. A Stoic doesn't need to be feared because their power doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from controlling themselves. Imagine the difference. One leader is obsessed with appearances, always scheming to maintain control. The other leader is calm, steady, and unbothered by insults or flattery. Which one do you trust more? Which one would you actually follow? Here's the trap. Many people chase Machiavellian power because they mistake control over others as strength. But history is full of tyrants who fell the moment fear turned into rebellion. Stoicism reminds you that true power is invulnerable. It's the ability to stand tall, even if everything around you collapses. And let's be real, constantly scheming is exhausting. If you're spending your whole life playing chess, at some point you forget to actually live. Power without peace isn't power, it's prison. Number 3, the Stoic edge in a Machiavellian world. Now, let's get practical. How do you survive in a world where Machiavellians seem to win? The answer isn't to throw Stoicism away, but to sharpen it. Stoicism gives you emotional control, and believe me, nothing is more intimidating than someone who cannot be rattled. Machiavelli may say, never show your weakness, but Stoicism goes deeper. It trains you not to have the weakness in the first place. Picture this. You're in a meeting, someone tries to humiliate you, and everyone waits for your reaction. A Machiavellian lashes back, playing politics. A Stoic? They stay calm, maybe even smile, and respond with clarity. Suddenly the room sees who's in control. Hint, it's not the person who lost their cool. Another edge, Stoics play the long game. Manipulation can get quick wins, but it burns bridges fast. Stoicism builds respect and trust that lasts. You become known as the person who doesn't bend with gossip, who doesn't collapse under pressure. That reputation is priceless. It's like invisible armor. People can't touch it. And let's be honest, when you don't get dragged into every petty drama, you also live longer. Stress kills faster than any enemy. A stoic mind saves you from being eaten alive by the very schemes others think will make them strong. Number 4. Humor in the dark game of power. Here's the funny part. Both Stoics and Machiavellians agree on one thing. People are unreliable. Machiavelli says, don't trust them, control them. Stoicism says, don't trust them, control yourself. The difference is subtle but huge. One makes you a prisoner of suspicion. The other makes you free. Imagine walking into a room full of liars and manipulators. The Machiavellian mindset whispers, out-scheme them, outsmart them, outlie them. But the Stoic mindset calmly says, let them play their little games. I'm not here to dance. It's almost funny, like watching children fight over toys while you're sitting there sipping tea. The humor of Stoicism is that it deflates drama. While others are busy plotting, you're busy living. It's like Marcus Aurelius himself could look at a Machiavellian and say, yes, clever plan, but can you sleep at night? Sometimes, the best way to win is not even playing the same game. And in case you're wondering, no, Stoicism doesn't mean being boring or passive. It means being untouchable. And if you've ever kept calm while someone tried to get under your skin, you know just how fun it is to watch them squirm when their tricks fail. Number 5, the balance, power and soul. Should you be Machiavellian or Stoic? The truth is, you need both, but in balance. Machiavelli shows you the reality of the world. People can be selfish, ruthless, and deceptive. Stoicism shows you the reality of yourself. You can be calm, wise, and unshakable. Power without morality rots you from within. Morality without strength makes you a target. The goal is harmony, sharp as steel, but steady as stone. Think about it. The people we admire most in history weren't just cunning, and they weren't just peaceful. They were both strong and principled. Marcus Aurelius led Rome with discipline, not cruelty. Leaders who last are the ones whose power comes not from fear, but from respect. That's the balance that keeps your soul intact. And on a personal level, this isn't just about politics or kingdoms. It's about your daily life. At work, in relationships, in the challenges you face. Do you want to be feared, or do you want to be respected? Do you want quick wins with lasting regret, or steady wins with lasting peace? The choice defines not only your power, but your soul. So here's the challenge. Sharpen your mind like a strategist, but guard your heart like a stoic. Use wisdom, not deceit. Stay calm in chaos. Play the game of power, but never let it play you. Because at the end of the day, true power is not about bending others. It's about never being bent yourself. Number 6. Why manipulation is always a gamble. Machiavelli teaches that manipulation is a tool of survival. Lie when you must, flatter when you must, and betray when you must. But here's the flaw. It's like playing poker with life. Every lie, every trick, every scheme is a card you're hiding under your sleeve. And eventually, someone notices. When they do, your empire crumbles faster than it was built. Stoicism offers a different lens. It doesn't gamble with power because it doesn't gamble with character. A Stoic doesn't need to juggle lies or fear exposure. Their consistency becomes their strength. You may not win every short-term hand, but you build the kind of reputation that no betrayal can erase. Let's be blunt. Manipulation is exhausting. You have to remember the lies you told, the faces you wore, the promises you broke. Imagine running a company like that. You need more notebooks for lies than for profits. A Stoic, meanwhile, keeps things simple. This is who I am. This is what I stand for. Easy to remember, easy to live. And here's the punchline. In the long run, Machiavellians often end up alone, surrounded by people waiting for them to fall. Stoics? They may not have armies of flatterers, but the loyalty they inspire is real. And when life really hits hard, genuine loyalty is worth more than fear ever could be. Number 7. Stoicism as silent strategy. Many people confuse stoicism with passivity. They think being calm means doing nothing. But calm isn't the absence of action. It's the absence of stupid action. Stoicism is a strategy in itself. When you don't react immediately, you see the whole board, not just the piece in front of you. Machiavelli urges speed. Strike before your enemy strikes. Outthink them, outmaneuver them. That works sometimes, but it's like sprinting in a marathon. You burn out. Stoicism says, breathe, watch, wait. Like a general on the hill, you see the battlefield clearly. By the time others have exhausted themselves in petty battles, you're still standing. This is where Stoicism becomes terrifyingly effective. Imagine a person who doesn't flinch at insults, doesn't overreact to betrayal, and doesn't panic under pressure. That kind of presence feels dangerous because you can't predict them. You can't manipulate someone who isn't chained by anger or fear. And here's a little humor. Try arguing with a Stoic. It's like punching a pillow. They absorb everything, smile, and keep standing. Meanwhile, you're out of breath, and they're still sipping tea. That's not passivity. That's power disguised as peace. Number 8. Fear versus respect. The choice that defines you. Machiavelli believed fear was more reliable than love. But fear is brittle. It works until someone stronger shows up, or until the fear becomes unbearable. Then people rebel, plot, and wait for your downfall. Fear makes people obey, but it never makes them loyal. Respect, however, outlives fear. Stoicism builds respect not by demanding it, but by embodying it. People respect what they cannot shake. When you face hardship without breaking, when you treat people fairly even under pressure, you build a kind of authority that no Machiavellian scheme can replicate. Let's be real, respect takes longer to build. Fear can be instant, but respect is fireproof. It survives the storms, the rumors, the attacks. And here's the twist. Once you're respected, you don't need to constantly remind people you're in charge. They know. If Machiavelli asks, do you want to be feared or loved? Stoicism answers, neither. I want to be respected. Respect is the golden middle. People may not always like you, but they can't deny your strength. And that's a form of power that doesn't require you to sell your soul. Number 9, the inner fortress. Machiavelli's fortress is made of walls, soldiers, and weapons. It's external, always threatened, always needing maintenance. A Stoic's fortress is within. It's unbreakable because no one can storm it but you. And that changes the entire game. Imagine this. Your competitors spread lies about you. A Machiavellian panics, scrambling to control the narrative, spending sleepless nights plotting a counterattack. A Stoic? They shrug. My character speaks louder than your rumor. Over time, truth always finds its way to the surface, while lies collapse under their own weight. This inner fortress also makes you unpredictable. People can't figure out how to manipulate someone who doesn't react to bribes, insults, or flattery. To them, you look unshakable. To you, it feels natural. That's the kind of armor Stoicism gives you. Not something you wear, but something you are. And here's the funny thing. Machiavellians spend their lives terrified of losing power. Stoics spend their lives knowing they can't lose what truly matters. Their peace, their integrity, their soul. Guess who sleeps better at night? Number 10, legacy. What remains when you're gone? At the end of the day, the question isn't just how you live, but what remains when you're gone. Machiavelli might help you rise quickly, but the empires built on fear often vanish as soon as the ruler does. Stoicism, on the other hand, plants seeds that grow long after you're gone. Look at Marcus Aurelius. He wasn't perfect, but his words still guide people centuries later. Not because he manipulated or terrified, but because he lived in alignment with wisdom and strength. Machiavelli? Brilliant mind, yes. But most people remember him as the evil strategist. One inspires, the other warns. Which do you want to be? Here's the raw truth. Power fades. Titles, wealth, even kingdoms eventually slip away. But the soul you guard, that stays. The respect you earn, that lingers. The wisdom you live by, that becomes your legacy. That's the difference between a man who ruled and a man who mattered. So, when you face the choice between Stoicism and Machiavelli, remember this. Power fades, but character endures. The world doesn't just need people who know how to win. It needs people who know how to win without losing themselves. That's the kind of power worth carrying.